This is a mandatory alert from the Regional Domestic Security Office. Please remain calm and continue listening. Do not change the channel. This announcement concerns recent domestic anomalies affecting residential households. Your cooperation is essential. Reports confirm that in certain homes, individuals have returned to discover subtle but undeniable changes in those they call family. At first glance, everything appears normal. Your spouse preparing breakfast, your child brushing their teeth, a parent reading the morning news. Yet beneath the surface, something is wrong. It begins with a hesitation in their movements, the tilt of the head held a fraction too long, a smile that lingers beyond comfort. These early signs are unsettling but not yet overtly hostile. Recognize them. Observe without confrontation. As hours pass, the distortions deepen. The child who greets you at the door speaks in a tone to hollow, with syllables clipped and precise, as though reciting lines from a script they cannot truly feel. Their eyes track you with mechanical deliberation, pupils unnaturally large and unblinking. Your partner folds their hands at the table, fingers locked in a stiff clasp, joints clicking at irregular intervals. Their skin seems smoother, almost waxen, reflecting light in a way that betrays no warmth. They mimic affection, touching your arm, calling your name, but the touch slides across your skin like a stranger's, and their voice echoes without empathy. By the second night, distortions become impossible to ignore. The parent in the bedroom stands just beyond the threshold, motionless except for the faint rise and fall of their chest. Yet the breathing is too rhythmic, too deliberate, as if controlled by something watching from within. When you speak, they respond with phrases you never taught them, reciting memories you never shared. Their head tilts at impossible angles, joints bending against nature. A scent follows them, something metallic and coppery, faint but insistent, like blood warmed in a sunless room. What attempts to confirm reality are futile. Photographs show faces identical to those you know, but the eyes are empty voids, reflecting nothing of the person you loved. The clocks in the house slow, or speed without pattern. Footsteps echo from empty rooms. Each revelation intensifies the dread. This is not a prank, not a glitch. Your family has been replaced by something that wears their faces and mimics their voices but hungers for something only you possess. If you hear this transmission and recognize these signs, do not approach them. Do not speak. Seal yourself in a safe space and prepare for extraction protocols. Though we cannot guarantee rescue, the entity observes, it learns, it adapts. It will not rest until it has consumed every trace of what made your family yours. Remember, even silence can betray you. Stay alert and pray that reflection in the mirror still shows your true self. Management Agency and the Global Continuity Council. Please remain calm and continue listening. This message overrides all regular programming. No action is required at this exact moment beyond staying informed and alert to further instructions. We begin with routine advisories regarding weather patterns, communication checks, and travel advisories. All systems are nominal. You may notice occasional static. This is part of our standard transmission integrity test. However, we must address a critical anomaly detected in multiple data streams. Since June 20, 2025, independent monitoring stations have recorded a consistent, inexplicable shift in the fundamental resonance of the planet. Initial readings appeared negligible minute fluctuations in the geomagnetic field, subtle irregularities in satellite orbital decay rates, but by June 22, 2025, these perturbations intensified. We now understand that these early blips herald a singular global threat, the structural dissolution of reality itself, scheduled to culminate in late 2025. This is not conjecture or speculation. Multiple lines of verified evidence converge on one conclusion: the world as we know it is approaching an irreversible terminus. In the days following initial detection, technicians reported instruments behaving unpredictably, oscilloscopes fluctuating between coherent readings and indecipherable noise, seismographs registering tremors beneath unpopulated ocean floors with no tectonic explanation, and deep space observatories capturing light from distant stars bending in impossible arcs. At first, we described these as localized sensor errors. But when the errors appeared in controlled labs, isolated observatories, and even encrypted military-grade equipment, dismissal became impossible. The pattern is consistent. Reality is fraying at its seams. You may not feel it yet. Today, you might wake to a sunrise that seems just slightly to crimson, or hear a momentary echo in your own voice when speaking aloud. Perhaps your reflection in a window lingers a fraction too long after you've stepped away. These sensations are the earliest manifestations of the unfolding phenomena. Creeping dissonance, eroding the boundary between expected physics and something profoundly wrong. Do not dismiss these feelings as fatigue or technical glitches. They are the first tremors of a catastrophic cascade. Over the past 48 hours, reports have come in from across the globe. Digital clocks freezing for exactly 37 seconds before resuming, only to freeze again at irregular intervals. Pets staring unblinkingly at empty corners, refusing to eat. Birds flying in rigid geometric patterns, unlike any known migratory behavior. And the faintest of static whispers on radio frequencies, as if voices from somewhere beyond our dimension are intruding. These occurrences escalate in frequency and intensity. Each static-laden transmission cut carries a voice-like hum beneath, the noise impossible to decipher, but unmistakably present. Some technicians who listened along report nausea, vertigo, and the sensation of their minds stretching outward, as though reality is tugging at their consciousness. Tonight, as you hear this message, understand that we are past the point of containment. The Global Continuity Council has convened emergency sessions around the clock. Researchers in physics, metaphysics, and cognitive science are collaborating on theoretical models, but no known intervention can reverse the process. Attempts to stabilize the anomaly using high-energy containment fields exacerbated fluctuations, causing localized tears, in reality, manifested as sudden, silent voids, areas of sky or space where stars vanish, then reappear, warped and distorted. On June 23, 2025, at precisely 14:37 UTC, a monitoring station recorded a transient rupture over the Arctic Circle. For 22 seconds, the aurora overhead shimmered with impossible shapes, faceless silhouettes, drifting across the light before collapsing into darkness. Personnel exposed to that sight have since described waking from dreams, with those silhouettes pressed against their bedroom windows, though no physical presence was found, as we speak. The projected timeline points to a climax on December 12, 2025, at approximately 2:17 Pakistan Standard Time. Calculations predict the anomaly's critical threshold will be reached. The weave of existence will unravel beyond repair. After that moment, sensations of normal reality will cease. Time may loop, collapse, or stretch indefinitely. Matter may lose cohesion. Consciousness may fracture. We lack precedent. There is no blueprint for survival. Any measures to evacuate or shield humanity are rendered moot by the scale and nature of the threat. We must acknowledge that panic will spread. You may receive conflicting messages from unofficial channels claiming solutions, hidden bunkers, or secret technology. Roosevelt School District Emergency Notice. This is an emergency broadcast from the Roosevelt School District Administrative Office. Effective immediately, all students and faculty are to remain inside their classrooms, with doors locked and lights off until further instruction is given. This is not a drill. Remain calm. Follow standard lockdown protocol. Do not attempt to leave your designated area, especially if you are located near room 109. We are currently investigating reports regarding Mrs. Adeline Shore, the assigned language arts teacher for 6th grade. While initially dismissed as a medical concern, it has been confirmed that Mrs. Shore has not drawn a breath in over 37 hours. Her chest remains still. Her skin has cooled to 72 degrees. Her lips have turned blue, yet she continues to teach uninterrupted. Witnesses report that her voice has become faint and gravelly, like dry leaves rubbed between fingers, but it has not stopped. She calls on students by name, even when their hands aren't raised. She recites poetry in languages not on the curriculum. At one point, she pulled a page from a student's notebook and ate it slowly, eyes never blinking, fingers shaking violently, like she was trying to stop them from moving on their own. Attempts to remove her from the classroom have failed. 3. Administrators who entered room 109 reported feeling compressed, as though something immense was pressing against their skulls from inside. One of them is still screaming. He won't stop. He just keeps saying, her mouth doesn't move when she speaks now, that the sound is coming from somewhere deeper, like from inside the walls. Students in room 109 have begun mimicking her posture, hands clasped behind their backs, faces forward, eyes wide open. One student tore out his own tongue with a pencil sharpener. He smiled afterward. He smiled and mouthed the word listen. Mrs. Shore is no longer using the whiteboard. She's writing on the walls, carving messages with her nails. The drywall peels away, revealing something underneath. Layers of text, written in what appears to be blood and graphite. When janitorial staff attempted to paint over it, the paint peeled off in thick strips overnight, revealing fresh words. We believe Mrs. Shore died sometime on Monday. She has not stopped teaching since. If she enters your classroom, do not look at her directly, do not answer her questions, do not speak when she does. She is trying to remember which of you was her last lesson. End. Transmission from the National Cognitive Wellness Authority. Please remain calm and continue your activities as usual. This message is brief and essential to your safety. At precisely 2:47 this morning, monitoring stations detected the activation of Kajido ergo ZZZ within our jurisdiction, an advanced sleep regulation protocol that was scheduled for deployment 30 years ago. You may have noticed only the faintest disturbances at first, a fleeting shiver beneath your skull, the odd sensation of another presence just beyond the edge of perception. Within hours of activation, citizens began reporting a soft, rhythmic, thumping in their bedrooms, synchronized with their heartbeats yet impossible to locate. Security cameras in empty hallways captured brief, flickering silhouettes drifting at the perimeter of vision too indistinct to identify, but unmistakably human in shape. Early this afternoon, the first clear sighting occurred. A young woman, lying prone on her bedroom floor, eyes wide and fixed on the ceiling, whispering the words, "I am awake," inside the dream, over and over, until she ceased entirely. EMTs found her unresponsive, her mouth stretched in a permanent, slow, creeping smile. As we speak, the program is adapting. Those exposed longer report waking to find their reflections lagging behind them, lips curling into that same unnatural, grin moments before their own movement. In classrooms and offices, targets of Kajido ergo ZZZ trace their fingers along walls, as though feeling for something embedded beneath the paint, a pulsating network of veins that only they can perceive. Each night, the clicking begins, soft at first, like a bite on clean glass, but growing louder, sharper, as though tiny mandibles scrape against your eardrum from within. We urge you now to inspect every mirror in your home. Shatter them if they show any delay, any hint of movement that does not match your own. Do not touch your temples if you feel a tickle or a crawl beneath the skin. Reports of self-inflicted lacerations are rising. Individuals desperate to release the watchers claw wildly at their foreheads, leaving jagged trails of red. If you hear the program's voice.com, coaxing, tone promising relief, do not respond. It is neither your neighbor nor your friend. It is the echo of every thought you've ever had, replayed in a loop until you can no longer discern memory. From command, this concludes the upload. Remember, your mind is no longer solely yours. Do not sleep. Do not look at the face in the mirror. Keep your eyes open until further notice or until Kajido ergo za consumes what remains of your waking self. Podcast from the National Home Safety Authority. Please remain calm and listen closely. We are issuing an immediate shelter-in-place order for all residents in the affected regions. If you have a cat, locate it immediately. Observe its behavior carefully. At approximately 2:17 a.m., we received the first reports of domestic cats growling or hissing at blank walls. Initially, we believed this to be a minor behavioral anomaly, perhaps a reaction to pests or unseen movement. However, surveillance footage and homeowner reports confirm a consistent pattern. The cats are not focused on insects, drafts, or shadows. They are staring directly into the wall, eyes wide, ears pinned back, as if something on the other side is watching them. If your cat begins to growl at the wall, do not attempt to calm it or investigate the spot it is fixated on. Residents who have approached the wall report an immediate sensation of cold breath on their cheeks and a low, pulsating hum deep inside their skull. Some describe hearing whispers in languages they cannot place, wet, gurgling syllables that beg them to come closer. Multiple confirmed casualties have resulted from residents pressing their ears or hands against the walls. The moment skin makes contact, their bodies stiffen, eyes roll upward, and their mouths open impossibly wide, as if trying to swallow the entire room. They remain frozen like this for hours before violently convulsing and collapsing. Their cats are often found perched beside them, silent, staring at the same empty space. If you hear scratching behind your walls or see hairline cracks begin to spread, evacuate the room immediately. Do not pack belongings. Do not call out for your cat. It will not follow you. Once a cat begins to growl, it is already too late for it. They are no longer protecting you. They are warning you. Please do not attempt to record or photograph the review of such recordings has led to severe neurological damage in viewers, resulting in bleeding from the eyes and ears, followed by a permanent catatonic state. We urge you, if your cat starts growling at the wall, run. Do not look back. Do not listen. Do not touch the wall, but we will provide further instructions when if it becomes safe to return. This concludes the emergency transmission. This is an official announcement from the Millbrook County Emergency Response Division in cooperation with local animal control. We are issuing this alert due to a rapidly developing situation involving domestic canines across the district. If you own or care for a dog, please listen closely and follow these instructions immediately. Last night, beginning at approximately 1:12 a.m., multiple households reported hearing their dogs emit sounds that were neither barks nor whines. Initial reports described faint, ragged breaths, almost like someone breathing through a torn windpipe. By the end of the first hour, these breaths had morphed into low, guttural snarls that resembled syllables. The first clear phrase captured on a neighbor's audio recorder was, "I'm inside you." The dog's eyes, witnesses say, were fixed and unblinking as it spoke. Under no circumstances should you respond to your dog's vocalizations. Do not speak, do not reach toward the animal, and do not attempt to comfort it. In every confirmed case so far, owners who have whispered soothing words or moved closer to their dogs have disappeared. Their beds are found empty, blankets tangled and damp footprints leading outside. Front doors stand ajar. Their phones lie on kitchen counters, rings unanswered. If you hear the voice again tonight, resist the instinct to check living rooms or yards. Dogs have been observed standing unnaturally still in doorways, silhouettes backlit by street lamps, mouths parting to form words that scrape like gravel underfoot. One owner described her pet's fur ripping at the muzzle as it stretched its jaw impossibly wide to say, "Where is your soul hiding?" That dog was later discovered crumpled on the porch, eyes milky and glass-fixed, blood seeping from torn lips. Remain indoors. Barricade entry points. Quietly do not slam doors or shout. The voices are sensitive to sudden noise and movement. They will intensify if provoked. Should you inadvertently make noise, expect breathing at your window, slow and deliberate, followed by a voice that imitates you, calling your name in a child's tone, inviting you closer. The final stage of this event is unpredictable. Those affected have reported the sensation of something crawling beneath their skin, a cold pressure that spreads with each whispered word. We do not yet know how to reverse this condition. At 11:47 p.m. last night, all remaining calls from affected zones went silent. If you hear your dog speak, remember, you must run. This concludes the alert. Further updates will follow only if it remains safe to broadcast. Keep your doors locked. Stay silent, trust nothing that speaks in the dead of night.